We have numbers just in from Hyundai for the first quarter of 2025, and they've achieved record sales numbers, largely thanks to one area of the company doing incredibly well. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Hyundai generated revenue of 44.41 trillion won, which is around 27 billion euros, around 30 billion US dollars. That was the first quarter of 2025. That is an increase of 9.2% versus the same period last year and the highest quarterly revenue in the company's history ever. Operating profit increased by 2.1% to 3.63 trillion won, which is a margin of 8.2%. So, margins are not awesome, to be fair, but considering the fact that Porsche is saying their margin just fell to 8%, basically Hyundai are making the margins that Porsche are now. Crazy. What a crazy world we live in. This result was primarily driven by strong sales of electric cars, especially hybrids and fully electric cars, as well as a favorable exchange rate environment. Net profit climbed slightly by 0.2%. But there was a slight decline in sales. In total, Hyundai sold 1,001,000 cars. Let's just put it at 1 million cars, a slight decline of 0.6% compared to the previous year. Hyundai said this is because of unfavorable global market conditions. Obviously, China's a big factor. Chinese car makers taking more market share from legacy automakers. Sales outside Korea declined by 1.4%. Sales in the domestic market increased by 4%. So you can see there the pictures going on. Sales outside of Korea down 1.4%, in Korea up 4%. This was due to a production stoppage at a Korean plant in the prior year quarter to improve equipment. Sales of electric vehicles increased by a staggering 38.4% to 212,000, making more than 20% of their sales. That's a really good number, more than 20%. Sales of hybrid models increased by 40% to 137,000. So as you can see, Hyundai sells a lot less hybrids than it does fully electric cars. But still, really these numbers are fantastic. Increase of 38.4% with EVs and 40% with hybrids. So what's going to happen in the future? Well, Hyundai are predicting their own future. They say that they have announced the dividend, first of all, of $1.53 per share, euros, so about $1.65 per share for the first quarter. And they plan to cancel 1% of their outstanding shares to further implement the policy to increase shareholder returns announced in mid-2023. Hyundai reiterated its full-year forecast. Unlike many other companies saying, actually, full year is not going to be so good, the company continues to expect sales growth of 3 to 4% and an operating profit margin of 7 to 8%. Really here, for me, the big takeaway is this. Without electric car sales and hybrid sales skyrocketing by 40% each, basically 40% each, Hyundai would have been in trouble like Volkswagen. Look at Volkswagen. Volkswagen profit fell by 37% in the first quarter of this year. But Hyundai, I think, have been smart about their strategy. Their electric cars are pretty good. And as a result, their sales numbers are staying about the same in spite of this invasion from Chinese car brands. Their profit is staying the same. They're kind of fighting back with some pretty good cars. So kudos to Hyundai for the first quarter of this year. Let's see how the rest of the year plays out. This is pretty good proof that it's not just Tesla electric cars that last for a very, very long time. Hyundai EVs do as well. This particular Hyundai electric car did 360,000 miles before Hyundai replaced its battery, even though the battery was still sitting at 87% of its original capacity. It gives you an idea if you buy an electric car. Battery degradation is pretty low with new electric cars now. 87% after the vehicle had done, 550,000 kilometers. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. The dude who bought this car, people said to him, mate, if you won the lottery, what car would you buy? He's like, I'm going to go straight back out and buy another Hyundai Ioniq 5. So personally, if it were me, would I buy a Hyundai Ioniq 5? Absolutely not. But keep in mind, the owner of this car, he's from the United States. He doesn't have access to a lot of different electric cars that other countries have access to coming out of China. Some of those are pretty exciting cars, and to be honest, pretty amazingly good. Don't get me wrong, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is also a really good car, but there is one problem with this car that, well, failed and is failing on a lot of different Hyundai electric cars. And it's become a bit of a concern for owners because it makes the car essentially just stop wherever it is. It just stops and you're kind of stranded. And it kind of appears that a lot of Hyundai owners, a lot of people who bought a car, they're just expecting when is it going to happen, when is it going to happen, and waiting for that moment to happen. But that said, guys, they are really good cars in spite of the ICC units failing, which is what I'm referring to. 12-volt batteries have been a bit of an issue. But other than that, these cars are fantastic. And the reality is this original battery lasted actually for 580,000 kilometers and still had 87%, well, that's the claim. Don't know if that's true. Still had 87% of its original battery capacity left. Now, what happened was, at that point, when it had done nearly 600,000 kilometers, Hyundai said, oh, we'll give you a new battery, not a problem. No cost. Didn't have to pay for a new battery. And now this guy has actually done 666,000 kilometers, which is 414,000 miles. Very few things went wrong. I think he's only been through one single set of brake pads. No rotors though. With an electric car, it's very unusual to replace your rotors. When you've got regen braking, you don't need to use your brakes very often. In fact, sometimes you don't need to use them at all. Now, one of the things worth pointing out here, guys, is this. If you buy an electric car and you drive this far, your battery won't be under warranty for most brands. It's unusual to get a warranty for you that will last that long or for any electric car, and to say that you'll get your battery replaced after you've done 580,000 kilometers. I should point out though, one of the reasons I bought my car is that they come with a 10-year warranty. Xpeng do. They're the only brand in the world that come with a 10-year warranty. 10 years on the battery, 10 years on the car, and you can drive as much as you want within that 10 years. So if you did 60,000 kilometers a year, which would be hard to do, but it's possible, then, well, you would still be under warranty and you would have done 600,000 kilometers. So what else do we know about this car? Well, apparently the owner has been driving 10,350 miles per month, or roughly 345 miles a day, which is 555 kilometers a day. So that's crazy. You do that in most cars, you're going to have a whole heap of things go wrong. I have experienced that myself with numerous different cars, driving them a lot of kilometers. You get to that 300,000 kilometer mark and things just start to break. They do. I've had Toyotas things at that age start to break. I've had Mitsubishis where things start to break then. I've had Fords where they start to break. And if they don't start to break before then, which is actually more common. Electric cars in general are actually much more reliable in terms of their longevity than non-electric cars.